the page. All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How you going? Good. All good silence to start the day.
Oh, are you talking to us then?
Yeah. Well, no
I
one else
thought you
is
were
here.
talking to. I thought you were talking to everyone watching.
Yeah, so did I.
There's no one watching.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we recorded, like a
I
month.
thought you were about to bust into some Smash Mouth then.
I was thinking the other song. It's been a while since I could.
Oh, yeah.
That one is probably more appropriate. But it has been a while.
It has been.
So, I guess how you guys would have been up to, and someone's here. Brandon's here anyway, so that's a good start.
Do you want to explain to the people why we've not been here? What you've done and why you've been a bad boy?
Well, we haven't been here because Cam got a job, and the stress of him having to work more than the 20 hours a week he was putting into the fish store has just blown him out of the water. Matt has been just nursing that masturbation injury on his wrist too much that he can't actually get on the computer, and I've been up to fuck all. So
You've been making bad contractual obligations.
No, I got married last weekend, and it was awesome, but it was a lot of work. So yeah. And these two idiots came as well. Actually, young Cam came as well, and there will be some photos to prove it come out at some stage. Not sure what the quality of them will be like, but they'll probably be fitting for the podcast.
It was good to see Cam.
It was, yeah.
Young Cam actually, he also agreed to a cameo.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. So I asked him point blank. I was like, "When are you finally going to come back on?" And he's like, "Oh, if you invite me." And I pointed out that we've invited him quite a few times.
Infinity times, probably.
The invitation is open whenever you want to, any day, anytime.
Yeah. So yeah, these two were there. Young Cam was there. It was actually quite cool, and I enjoyed putting. Unfortunately, it didn't get printed out, or at least the photo order changed, but because my family didn't show up. But there was I really enjoyed putting three idiots talk aquariums as a photo subject along with the family and the serious ones. So I enjoyed putting that in there. Kim was not happy, and she also refused to come in our photo, but that's all right.
She wasn't having a bar of it, eh? The second she saw the four of us walking over, she was just like, "Nah."
Oh, yeah.
What was it? I think the line was, "I'm not being associated with any of you fuckwits."
Something along that line.
Hey, I get it. Sometimes I don't want to be associated with you fuckwits either. But Big Cam did the food for the wedding.
It was so good. So good.
I guess I'll get Big Cam to talk about that because it ended up being quite a big job. A much bigger job than I anticipated anyway. But What happened, Cam? Run us through the food.
To start with, someone over-ordered big time. But we rather have too much, not enough, so ended up cooking 30 kilos.
In my defense, you did tell me that you would kill half the beef cheeks and you didn't kill any.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I
was happy with it. I didn't think they were, traditionally not all of them go off. So, it was cool they did. But yeah, we had 30 kilos of beef cheeks, 24 kilos of lamb shoulder, and 20 kilos of pulled pork. It was a disaster from the first minute we opened up the meat because the pork had been deboned and all the fat had been taken off it, and the beef cheeks hadn't been trimmed as they were meant to be. So, that was fun. But we started up at about 8 o'clock at night, and I stayed up all night tending the fire, and we literally pulled the meat off to give me approximately 4 minutes to spare before the ceremony started. So we timed that perfectly well.
Yeah,
so that worked.
So the meet went on about like 9 o'clock, didn't it? So you started the
Yeah,
flies about
something
8. The
like
meet went on about 9ish. So
Yeah.
what's that? 9 till 9's 12 hours, and then it had another what, 5.5 hours or something there. So we
17
got
or
about
I don't think you put the meat on till like 11 though, eh? Because I left at 10 and there was no meat. The fire was only just getting started.
hadn't we put the meat on then? Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, maybe it was a little bit later then. I know we staggered it with the pork and the beef cheeks went on at different times of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Went on there. But anyway, it all worked, and now my neighbour and other people that helped and myself have an entire freezer full of vacuum packed slow cooked meat that I can just heat up at any stage for the next
And
6 to 12 months.
The next question is your wife vegetarian?
Yeah.
Are your kids vegetarian or do they eat meat as well?
They're basically fussy eaters, so they don't eat chicken really.
So basically, you've got about 30 kilos of meat to eat by yourself. Yeah. And so in about a year's time, are we going to say, Ryan, you're a fat cunt?
It's too late. I already am. But yeah, everyone loved the meat, and so Cam's like a hero at the wedding. I even pulled him up in my speech, but he wouldn't say anything insightful. He just was stumbling around because he got on the KGBs.
To my defense, I was sober then and I was trying to eat some food myself. And the only insightful thing that I would have had to say is "fuck you, Ryan," and I decided against that.
So Kim's dad said that enough anyway.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, so yeah, that was a good time, and it was good to catch up with lots of fishy friends. You did kill one of our fishy friends though, which I'm not happy about.
How is Nelson?
So we had another fishy friend, Nelson. He did a cameo on the podcast about a month ago when he was going up north to work with me.
That's right, too.
And he's the one that's apparently building a pond, but it's been about 2-3 years or something, and it's not happening. So, but he's a monster fish dude. But him and Cam both think they love hot sauce and they're amazing at eating hot food. And so, Cam, you may as well explain what happened and how it transpired.
So the whole time Nelson was trying to get me to drink, and I was like, "No, I don't really want to drink. I'm cool not drinking." And like he was really keen for me to get on the wheeze, which I wasn't so keen on doing. And for some reason, Ryan decided to buy some hot sauce. It's made by Cully's. Those of you that aren't in New Zealand, Cully's is a very good hot sauce brand, and they have a sauce called Brutality, and Brutality is very, very hot. So like you can have a smidgen of it, like a little bit, like on your Coke fingernail, and put it in your mouth and it'll blow your face off, sort of thing. So I said to Nelson, if you have a proper chug of this hot sauce, I'll get on the piss. He's like, sweet, go. So he gets over there, shakes the bottle up, puts it in his mouth, does a proper vortex, and probably slugs back a good tablespoon or more of this hot sauce.
There's about a centimetre gone out of the bottle. Like,
yeah,
I was looking at it go. There's a lot gone out of this.
Significant, and I don't think anybody else had any. And so within seconds, his eyes went red and bloodshot. And I'm like, "You all right, mate?" He's like, yeah, I'm good. And within about a minute, he was all but throwing up, curled over in pain, not liking his life. And so for the next 2 or 3 hours, that was him. He was the life of the party, and then he stopped drinking. And he was hating his life decisions for at least 6 hours. So subsequently, I believe that I almost won that bet. There was another little sub-agreement that happened throughout the evening where he said that he thinks he won the bet because he got on the piss and then he drank this hot sauce. And I said, well, I've been up all night and now I'm drinking. So I think that kind of pulls us about in line. And then he said to me that if I had a teaspoon of the sauce, that would make us even, which I declined to on the night. But Ryan's going to send the sauce down to me and I'm going to call Nelson out and I'm going to make sure I consume more than 2 teaspoons worth so the ball is in his court.
and
he was in so much pain.
I think you ultimately won the bet because he had to get young Cam to take him home early because he couldn't cope with the evening. It actually ruined his night.
Yeah,
so,
he was
a bit sad. It was a bit sad that it ruined his night, but he does always go on about how he likes hot food. So
he was life of the party, and then he was just gone.
and then he no-showed the next day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't message. He messaged me at 2:00, being like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, we can confirm he has a life. So that's a start.
I'm like, mate, he was like, "Oh, I'm already past Hamilton, mate."
When he vanished, I wondered if he'd gone to hospital. But anyway, he obviously survived. But yeah, it was funny to see him. Now I can give him shit about not being able to handle hot food, so that'll be good.
Yeah. Says the guy that thinks white pepper's spicy.
Well, that's it for the personal life. Cam, your work's been going good. Yeah, you've been enjoying that. You had some ups and downs and some round and rounds, but generally okay.
Half of course.
Yeah. And Matt just been slowly taking over the world.
One step at a time.
Oh, Branton reckons he's a heavy hitter in the spicy food world. It's a shame we couldn't send him over to him.
I think you can buy it over there, though. Yeah, I know Kelly's sent internationally, but I'm pretty sure that you can buy that particular sauce over there. So, yeah. I'll send you a link to it.
I didn't realise what I was doing when I bought that sauce. I just thought people like hot sauce. I'll just buy some random hot sauces.
Which makes total sense, but that sauce will kill 99% of people in the world.
Cool. All good. Okay. And on a fishy front, what's everyone been up to?
I've been busy. I'm trying to think back to like the last update.
You've probably been a bit the busiest out of all of us, I'd say, fish related.
So a couple of weeks ago, I moved all of my tanks onto like a central airline system. That was a mission. It was meant to be a simple process of empty tanks, move them to the outside, make my way down the room. So I started at 2:00 on a Friday. By 11:00, I'd only done my breeding colony tanks and called it quits. Started at 7 the next morning. Didn't finish till about 6 p.m. that night. Hating my life. And yeah, so what I thought would be a few hours took a very, very long time. But it's all set up, it's all hooked up, it's all working.
So can you run us through the central air system that you have incorporated, just so people understand what you do and what you did? What sort of pump have you got?
I've just got one of those noisy metal fuckers.
Yuck.
Ooh.
From there, I've run it into a flexi hose, like what you use for your taps, the tails of your taps.
Tails of your taps, what do you mean?
So, like if you look at your kitchen or basin tap, you've got your tap, and then under the bench you've got the flexi tails.
It's like a braided hose type thing.
Braided hose, yeah.
Okay.
And then from that into some brass fittings until I made my way to 25 mil PVC pressure plate.
Yeah.
And I've run that down and then around the outside perimeter of the room.
So did you run a loop or just to a dead end?
To a dead end, with a release valve on the end, breather valve.
Yeah. Okay. And what have you used to punch into the PVC? Did you like thread and tap those, or did you just jam something in there?
No, I just ripped my fingers to shreds. I figured out which drill bit I needed to use, and it was make the hole, give it a little burr out, and then twist.
So you used the little black 4 mil irrigation fittings, did you? Is that what you screwed in there, or did you have metal ones?
No, I got metal ones off Timo.
So are they the ones with the valve in them as well, or are they just a straight? Cool.
Yeah. So metal valve with a screw end.
Yeah, and it's got a little. You can adjust the airflow off it.
Yeah, little chit.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. They are the best way to go.
And
They've got
the other issue that I encountered as I was going through it, and what added a whole heap of time, is I found out it's not a good idea to pull 20 amps from a 10 amp plug. So I went to, when I finally got down to the end of the room, I went to unplug one of the last plugs, which had my Inkbird hooked up to it. And from my Inkbird, I had two kilowatt heaters. And turns out, that plug was black. There was crusty bits coming out of it. How I didn't start a fire, I don't know.
or how it didn't pop.
Man
because
didn't start a fire.
Yeah, well, and it didn't trip the circuit.
10 amp plug should have popped at probably 10, 12 amps. 12 amps continuous, and like a surge, it should have popped real easy. But don't know. Especially switching on and off.
They don't make wiring like they used to. So that required a little bit of handyman electrical skills. So redid that plug, and I ended up putting like a 4-way mounting block on. So now I've got a little bit more.
So you can run 80
within that.
amps. You can run 80 amps off it now, right? Because you got 4 holes. Yeah. Considering you only got 63 amps from the power line. Usually you've only got 63 amps.
It depends how that power is getting to the room, whether it's via a meter and direct or
I had friends that used to do serious crypto mining, and they had to get bigger roadside fuses put on their houses because they kept blowing the roadside fuse.
Wow.
Too many crypto rigs. So never heard of that for fish keepers yet, though, because usually they get smarter with installation before they start spending more on power.
Yeah, and so one thing I guess, and we were talking about it a lot after leaving your place, Ryan, and like why, because you only use a 1 kilowatt heater, don't you?
In winter,
In winter.
I don't use it at the moment. I use it 2-3 months of the year. That's it.
Yeah, and I think because there's so much airspace within my room, there's that much more heat loss. Whereas your room's so tightly packed, and you've got small gaps between the tanks, and then your
Probably
single aisle.
displaced a lot of air with aquariums.
Yeah. So what I took that conversation as is permission to get more tanks.
I accept.
Cool. Yeah. Approved.
Yeah.
Nice.
Other than that, breeding fish, have not been selling many fish.
Got a couple of fish off me after the wedding.
Yep, got a fair few fish off of you.
It was funny because you were out there doing it, and I was still wearing the clothes from the wedding. I just went out.
You rocked up,
still
in your pants and your top, looking like death.
I was like,
Kind of look at me, and you're like, "You're fine."
I just left, and then went and just sat down somewhere and tried to entertain people.
But no, so that's cool. They're settling in, and got quite a few people who are keen to get said fish. So.
But the question is, are you going to rip them off with your prices? Like, because you've obviously only paid about, I don't know, $4 off Ryan. Are you going to try and sell them for $50 each to try and rip people off? That's the real question. Or are you going to just sell them for like $6?
Yeah, he's paid for these fish.
Okay,
yeah.
so
that's the first part of your that's the first part of your assumption that's wrong.
So you're going to charge people, so you're absolutely going to rip people off then.
The second part of your assumption
sent me a big list of fish that he's taken, but just like, man, I'll sort that out later. So we're going to have to get to that at some stage, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I did say to him, I was like, people want to buy them, but I don't know what I'm selling them for because I don't know how much I'm paying for them.
I'll work that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
The good thing
but-
is, like, even after I do a big move like that, I like to leave the fish at least a week or two before you actually sell anything, just to let them settle, make sure they're not, there's nothing going on. And also, you don't want to go boom, boom, boom between like 27 tanks straight away if you can help it.
Yeah.
Just let them settle, let things
So
calm
no,
down.
it's good just having them there, and it's like because that part of the room is kind of new in terms of the setup. Like there's a 500 liter tank there that they've gone into, so it's quite cool just seeing how the room looks with stuff all in it ready to go.
Nice.
And then working through the other 2 colonies or 3 colonies that I got from you. 3, I guess, even though they're little. But yeah, they're really cool. Those
You got
albino.
the Rusties like Homer and the albino comps. Yeah.
Yeah. And really, I haven't sexed the albino comps.
You won't because they're too small.
Yeah, but the ratios on the other 2 are really, really good.
Sure. Well, that's good.
Stoked.
Got
Winning.
and I went in there last night. I didn't go in there yesterday. I was, at least the day before yesterday, I was too tired and too busy. But went there last night and I was like, that big tank looks a lot emptier now. You've taken a lot of fish. I also noticed there was lots of random shit floating around in my tanks that wasn't there previously. And I was like, what is all this crap? What is this? For all the years that I've been trying to grow duckweed, and all of a sudden, an infinite amount of it just appears all through my tanks.
How did that happen?
You just needed my magic touch in your fish room.
I'm not sure, but
What's
maybe
the
he's
bad
added some special fertilizer or something like that. But it's there's a lot of stuff around now. Yeah, everywhere. Every tank.
You're welcome. I did have every intention to bring some a certain type of fish, and I'm not going to mention what it is because I could use it another time. And I got said fish, and it died during transit.
Was
so
it
that
chili
was really
Oscar?
sad.
Were they chili
No.
Oscars?
No, but it was a big fish, and
Chili Oscars are cool fish. I love them. They're so awesome. Oh, hang on, that's what Ben said.
Kermit's joined us, have they? But yes, so there's more to come. Have you noticed that I behaved myself in your fish room though, and I didn't take something? Which you weren't there, so you weren't there. So, like,
Did you not take it?
nah, it was tempting.
That would have
It
been
was
awesome.
tempting, but as I said, like I could take it and hold it ransom. But then if anything happened, like
that's the problem.
I would feel so stink.
It's a dangerous game to play, and he's a pretty special fish. He was one of my favorites, and I've been offered quite a large sum of money for him on multiple occasions.
Does that mean you'd pay quite a large sum of money to get it back?
I would already own it.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
So for those that are interested, Matt and I may or may not have recorded us putting duckweed into Ryan's fish room. So I've just put the link into the chat now, so you're welcome to watch it.
I cracked up at my costume change during this time. For anyone wondering, like, this is all recorded on the same day. Ryan's tanks are just impossible to get into without getting wet. So I had to go and find one of my fish singlets because it was just not a good time.
Yeah.
I've also released the video on the Fish Room YouTube channel as well, thinking that more people will see it there as well. So just for a bit of fun.
And the day after the wedding, we did like a big thing here, and everyone came and visited and did some lunch or something. I was too hungover to do anything, but all of the families went out and looked at the fish room, and they were quite buzzed out by it and talking about it and stuff. And someone out and said hi to Matt. Wonder what the fuck he was up to.
They were real buzzed at the amount of buckets leaving your house. They're like, why are there so many buckets? What's he up to? What, you're going to take fish in buckets?
Hardly even made a dent in the room.
Nah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I guess for me, I've been so busy with this wedding and the car and everything. I haven't been doing a lot with the fish, just maintenance. But now that the wedding's over, I'm going to have a bit more time to get out there and start doing a few projects, get back into it, and get a few things sorted. So I'm looking forward to that.
What are the projects that you're wanting to get into?
One of the 7 cars.
No, fish-wise.
Fish-wise. I don't know, really. I've just got to get out there basically and just do a sort and go, right, what have I got to breed? What isn't breeding? And what have I got to move around? What have I got to reorganize? And just really get a bit more intent for what haven't I bred for a while. Like I want to start breeding some water points and some decent peacocks, get back into that a bit more. The Ushisha, the blue neons. Yeah, just start cranking some stuff again.
Have you considered
That's right.
making a change to decent fish like corridoras and plecos and that kind of stuff? Maybe even going down the American cichlid route?
Next question.
Those
Yes.
44s look good as well, eh?
Yeah, well, they were there for you too if you wanted them.
I didn't know, and I couldn't be fucked walking inside again by that point.
I was just like, at one stage I was just leaning up on my garden shed trying to hold it up.
You're doing a pretty good job of that.
Were you just hungover the next day, or were you unwell?
I was hungover.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely hungover. But also, like, it was a little bit of like 2 weeks of stress, no sleep, big, massive days of just lifting shit, carrying shit, worrying about shit, paying for shit. Oh my God, there's a lot of shit that got paid for, including the band that I forgot to pay until the night because they hit someone up. They're like, when's Ryan going to pay us? So I had to pay them on the night because I'd forgotten because we're so busy. So it was a little bit of like everything's done now. And now I've got to clean up all this fucking mess.
And you probably will get sick now as well because like your body's just going to go, I can relax.
Also, since the wedding,
And to relax, let's make him sick.
Since the wedding, there's been about 3 people test positive with COVID, and a couple other people came to the wedding and had gastro bugs go through them that were going through them the night before, and now they've gone through them since, and the whole families. And so that'll be fun. It's all part of it.
You still get
COVID.
paid time off for COVID or not? Have they changed the law?
I don't get fuck all, especially if you're self-employed.
Of course, you're self-employed, so you don't get
But
sick
yeah.
days.
Yeah, it'd be good to get back into some fish and stuff and get life back to whatever normality is for life, because who knows what that is. How about you, Cam? What have you been up to for fish?
Fish-wise, nothing. I think I fed I have fed my fish since I've been back, but I haven't turned the lights on yet.
So your fish are all scattered around the place, though, aren't they? Is that right? Although they're not scattered, but they're
There's one
they're
there.
all there now.
There's one there, and then my frontosers and clown loaches are at my old band's house.
Right, and that's where you used to live.
Yeah.
And they're going to come. They're going to go there, are they? Sometime.
We're hoping on buying a house sometime this year, so I'm not going to move the fronts and shit here and then to move them again. So the plan would be to purchase said house and then move them from there to there.
Nice.
Yeah. But the real problem has to be convincing my wife that I'm allowed that tank inside somewhere. Finding a house that it's suitable to live in as well.
Just use the same
Right.
argument that I used around the whole, heat loss, power, take up more room, less air.
I like it. I will try that. I'm pretty sure I've had that conversation with her. I've mentioned many times that, man, with this big aquarium in the lounge, we don't have to light the fire until like almost winter time anymore. So
It was interesting. There were a lot of aspects of our wedding that were focused around fish and dumb ideas and stuff like that, weren't they? Which, especially in the vows. So you should have had something similar. You should have made. Well, you can't really make her write anything in her vows, but you should have said you vowed to allow her to support you to put heaps of fish tanks in the house, or something like that. And then you could have held her to it.
You promised. You said you would.
Yeah, I said you would. So you have to. No, I'm sure.
So,
I'm sure you can make that leap when you buy a house. She knows how important it is to you. So
hopefully,
but it is-
because I don't really
it's-
want my fish in the garage because I don't really pay any attention to them out here. So it's been
No,
very
you-
obvious that if they're not in my eyesight, then I don't really pay too much attention to them. So
Also, like you're fucking busy at the moment, eh? Like
It's
so, like
midging, yeah.
you're doing like what, 50, 60-hour weeks, and then you've got family, and you've
Yeah.
got life.
Yeah.
Detouring to somewhere else when you've done like a 12-hour day to go and do water changes and hang out when all you want to do is go home and pass out is it does make sense that it will be a little bit more tricky. So
Yeah,
know.
so. But what's my excuse for the one that's just over here? Because I still haven't, like I said, I haven't turned the lights on for that one since I've been back yet.
what's in there? Is that your plecos?
So that's the Corys and the old numbers and Tetras and stuff.
No, well, they won't care about light.
I won't care at all. They'll get enough during the day. Like, there's a light.
Yeah.
There's a window over there. They get enough light. But, like, to turn the lights on means you're actually visually enjoying them and seeing them.
Yeah, but I think you've had a bit of a turmoil sort of thing with fish at the moment, and you'll get back. You just things got to settle down a little bit, you know.
So you're saying don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and sell all my fish right now?
I definitely wouldn't right now.
Duly noted. I'll remove my listing off Trade Me.
You got one on there.
No. I knew it did the other day. I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm over it. I was about to actually turn the lights on, take a photo, and put it on Facebook, but I didn't.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
see
yeah,
how we go.
just chill. There's no need for knee-jerk reactions. You don't have a large number of them. It's not like a huge burden at the moment. Just chill.
Well, that was part of the reason why instead of setting up lots of tanks and species only, I just went with 2 big tanks all combined into one hit to try and minimize that extra burden as well.
Yeah, when things settle down, you'll get back into it. We've all had ebbs and flows and stuff.
I figure.
When I lost my entire fish room, I just turned off the lights in there and didn't go in there for like a year or two.
That would have been quite rancid going in there the first time.
Just literally turned it off and said, fuck this, closed the door and didn't go back in there.
Yeah.
It was
I
not
hope
fun.
you removed the fish first.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. I just left it. I just said, nah, I'm out.
When was this? How long ago was this?
Maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Wasn't long after I moved out here and I built the other fish room.
And what
So
caused
you still have to pull that fish room apart for renovations, yeah?
Yeah,
Something has
It's still
to
there.
happen there. Huh?
It's still there. It's still there.
But don't you have to have like the ground pulled up or something along those lines?
Oh, there's a lot of work to be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an insulated shed. I have floated the idea of until we do the renovations, maybe I could put some more aquariums in there, but it was not well received.
Yeah.
Where are you going to fit them?
What do you mean?
How are you going to fit more tanks in the container?
In the old fish room that I've got built around in the corner of the house, there's an old shed I converted to a fish room.
Is that the one at the front?
Yeah, behind the garage.
Behind the garage.
Never showed me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one behind the garage in the corner. It's like a shed, maybe 3.5 by 3.5, but real tall, like maybe 3.5 meters tall. And I just got 100 mil freezer panels and insulated the floor, ceiling, walls, whole lot. Made it.
Oh no! You did show me that.
Yeah, it's currently just used for storage. And
That's the one on the front lawn.
no,
Oh, okay.
that was always a storage shed. But yeah, it would be stupid to put aquariums in it, knowing that we have to demolish it all and do renovations because it would just make everything infinitely harder. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. So yeah, cool. That's all the fishy stuff we've been up to.
Cool.
And I'll get a random question for us.
So do you want to update the people on what the plan is for us going forward and all that kind of shit as well? Being we've had a pretty in-depth conversation, half-assedly.
We didn't actually talk about it when we were all together, did we? That was kind of
No.
stupid.
Way more important things going on.
Well, we're just going to keep recording, but we may not be live as much as we are now. But the plan is to always keep releasing something at the same time every week. And yeah, we'll be live where we can. But with work schedules and stuff, we may have to do some pre-recorded stuff. And yeah, keep giving you guys the amazing content that you're used to. You guys can't laugh at that.
The amazing content that's got us to New Zealand's #1 aquarium podcast.
Only because you dropped out. Have you guys both got siblings?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the meanest thing you ever did to a sibling or that a sibling did to you?
I never really did anything mean to my sibling because he's like 8 years younger than me. But he was having a party. I don't know, it might have been his 16th or a 17th, something like that. And one of his mates was really, really proud of their rat's tails, and his mate passed out on the ground or on the park or something like that. And I got some scissors and cut his rat's tails off and just dropped them on him. Does that count?
Oh, that's brutal.
I thought it was pretty good.
I love it. Did he fucking lose the shit?
He was passed out. I don't know. I never saw him again.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, I like that one. I wasn't really that mean to my sisters, but I do remember one time that we were all on the farm doing something, and there was a big, massive, fresh cow shit, and they were standing right next to it. I decided I would jump into it and splatter the cow shit all over them. And it did a great job of it, but it all went straight up as well and got me. It went like in between the gumboots and just went straight up the pants and stuff and just covered me as well. So I think that was pretty funny as well and pretty mean, but they didn't like it.
So just side note, were those both your sisters that gave me a ride to the airport?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And
Why are they so nice and you're such an arsehole?
That was going to be my follow-up question. They seem like good people.
Did you talk to my mum?
No. She was too busy, passed out early.
She fell asleep, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But yeah, anyway, Matt, what did you do?
It's what we both used to do. Like we'd get cricket gloves, like, you know, when you're batting, those gloves, and we'd do boxing with each other, but we'd always go too far and someone would end up hurt. And because the reason we had to use cricket gloves is we weren't allowed to fight, so we'd do that. But then the parents would come home and it was normally right when someone was bawling their eyes out because it had been taken too far, and then you'd trying to like hold on to the other person, being like, stop crying, trying to say something funny to get them to laugh, and and then cover it all up, quickly whip the gloves off, throw them in the wardrobe.
Typical siblings.
Sounds like it was consensual though. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
My younger brother, I used to trick him into eating different things. So I could tell him that it's ham and it was dog roll.
That's good.
But, you know, like he runs marathons now, and like, so really I just helped make him stronger.
Does he still eat dog roll though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, makes him stronger. What doesn't kill him makes him stronger, I guess.
Yeah.
So, you know, we don't really have a fishy topic. So what are we going to talk about fish related? Why don't we talk about the coolest aquarium we've ever seen, or like something that we would build if we bought, like, if budget was unlimited, what would we build?
budget was unlimited what we built.
Well, I was
Right.
going to build a tank when I was building a place, or in the process of building a place, a couple of years ago, and it was going to be like a wall between living area and kitchen, and it was going to wrap around that wall.
So it was
So
going
I was
to be like a tank with an angle in it. Is that what you're saying? Like a
No, so
Water-
it would
water
just be. It would, it would. I think the build would have just made it a normal, like cube-ish tank, but it was going to be built into the wall so that as you walked around this island,
so the tank was going to be the wall, essentially.
yes,
They call them peninsula tanks. Is that what they call it? Is that called a peninsula tank?
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
Back in 2 minutes, hold on.
Okay. Yeah, okay,
Um,
that's cool. That's cool.
So all the cabinetry and all the sump underneath and everything was going to be hidden. So that would have been quite a cool tank to actually get done, and I'd like to still do it
How big was it?
someday.
How big was the plan for it? Like roughly?
I think it was like 1,000 liters. It's massive.
No, so it wasn't like gigantic, huge, but it was pretty decent sized tank. So was it like a was it long and skinny, or short and girthy?
Like smack bang in the middle. Like it wasn't too girthy, but it was it was of adequate size.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Mm.
So just trying to picture, is it like 5 foot long, 6 foot long?
It was about 6.5.
Right. And quite wide.
Mm. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. And what did you have planned fish to put on that or not?
It was just going to be a massive African tank.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a big hat tank would be real cool. Like 10 dolphins, 10 giraffes, 10, comps, 10 of everything we could possibly get in there, 10 electric blues, 10 this, 10 that, and just smash everything in there. Maybe put some OBs and Dragon's Bloods in there, and that's about it. Just do 10 of everything, 10 males.
Yeah.
I think that'll be
So
good
yeah,
enough.
like that was my plan, and would have been really cool to go ahead with, but one day, one
Sure.
a day.
And for me, I keep getting haunted by this post on Facebook that I must have liked or looked at, where there's 2 pillars coming down inside this room, and they've made what looks like a suspended tank in between them. And I just think that would be freaking cool. Obviously, it's not just fly, but they've made it so well. They've basically put a big steel beam underneath it, and then a big steel frame that the tank sits on, and then all of the life support and stuff runs back into those pillars and goes somewhere else to actually be the sumps and stuff, because the pillars are quite wide, but they might have sumps in them or stuff. They haven't really shown what goes into it, but I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to have a house with 2 massive pillars in the middle of the lounge, because it was like an apartment overseas somewhere. But I'll be thinking it'll be fucking cool to make a tank that's just sort of floating in the middle of the air with nothing underneath it, and it's just a massive tank, looks like it's going to fall on the ground. I think that'll be badass.
Just gonna have to build some pillars.
Yeah,
Renovations coming up.
Yeah. No, we're already talking about selling this place after the renos potentially. So yeah, maybe we buy a house with pillars. It's got to be, right. We're happy to buy a house, but as long as the only criteria is there has to be 2 pillars approximately 10 foot apart from each other, so I can make a massive suspended aquarium.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh hey,
Cam,
he's back.
he's back. What's your sort of? Were you listening or nah?
Yeah, I know the question. I know the assignment.
Did you hear what we said?
I heard what Matt was saying, and I'm
Right.
assuming yours was blah, 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 African cichlids, blah, blah, blah.
No, I didn't actually talk about the stocking. I was talking about, I've seen on Facebook this tank that's suspended between 2 pillars. They put like a big massive steel beam underneath it, and they built a frame. But when you look at it, it looks like the tank's just floating in air, because they've kind of hidden the frame within the bottom boxing, and the light within it, and everything else just goes through the pillars. Like there's nothing underneath it. It just
Cool.
looks so cool. I was thinking
It would
it'd be
be.
cool to build something like that.
That would be very cool.
Massive. If I find the link, I'll share it. It keeps coming up occasionally. What are you, Cam? What are you building when you buy a house down in Nelson?
I've always, because I'm pretty eclectic when it comes to my fish keeping, I've always dreamed of having a fish room, and like each wall having its own sort of geographical region. So like one wall of like South American just for Corey's, one wall South American just for our numbers, one wall maybe some
African cichlids, yeah.
African cichlids, yeah. So just that, because like it kind of encompasses all the things that I'm sort of interested in one area, but species only tanks and regional only tanks.
So are you thinking, when you say one wall, this one wall, are you thinking like a lounge with all these aquariums in the wall and all the life support behind? So it's like a games room type setup, or are you thinking like a fish room? No,
be like a fish room still, but with more room and not stinky and stanky like your one.
Oh, yeah.
More user friendly, so you can actually go in there and enjoy it, and it's not dank, and it's more inviting and stuff like that.
How many swear words were coming out of my mouth as I was like trying to catch fish when you were around, Cam?
At least 7.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm tired or like hungover or whatever, and someone might message me saying, "Hey, I want to come buy some fish." I was be like, "Sorry, I'm not home. Come tomorrow," because it's like, oh man, I've got to catch them, you know.
Yeah.
But also can see why you don't want to ship fish, because it's such an ordeal just to catch them.
Yeah.
Like to then have to bag them and box them and all that sort of thing.
Especially with the space you've got. That's the problem. You end up tripping over yourself in there.
Yeah, like I get your fish room. The way you've set it up means more tanks, more fish. Like I understand, but it's not user friendly. Yeah. It's the opposite of user friendly.
I definitely, if we moved or something, I would do it again, but I'll do it differently.
Yeah.
Just to have more space to enjoy it and to be user friendly. I mean, it's a great fish room and it's functional, but it's not functional on the other hand. It's functional in the fact that it holds a lot of fish, but it's not functional in the fact that if you need to get said fish or tanks out, it is tricky. So, yeah.
It's organized chaos. It's a little bit like your brain.
Yeah.
It's the definition of ADHD.
It's pretty much me on Saturday night, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's there. Where'd he go?
I don't even know. So, like, how many photos did you end up in like the family photos? Because I swear they'd be like, such and such family over to the photo area. And then next thing, like, you're standing right next to us. And I'm like, aren't you meant to be?
I was trying to get out of the fucking photos. That's the problem. At one stage, I was
not going to be in any photos.
At one stage, I pointed to the photographer. I said, "You're not my favorite fucking person. I'm sick of these photos." And she was just laughing at me. She was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah. That's pretty much it. Okay, so we've done favorite tank. What are you putting in your tank that you're building? Oh, so you've already defined that because you're building multiple tanks. You're not just building one tank, are you? Cam?
No. I'm essentially building a fish room around different continents of the world.
A real geeky fish room, which I like.
Yeah,
I think that's cool because you're a bit of a geek.
Coincidentally, I might have about 300 aquariums that I could do this with at some point. Moving on. Down the track.
What about how is the Never Never going? Sold much?
I had someone come around who was interested in buying a rack. Came around, measured them all up, said, "I think this will fit." Sent me to say, "Yep, this will fit." And then because I was in the middle of what was going on with me, I never got back to him. And then he said, "I've already bought a bunch of other racks, so it's all good now." So that was on me. It was basically a sale, and then life just did what life did.
And he wasn't going to buy tanks; he was just buying racks.
The racks with the tanks.
Did he walk in and say, "Hey, nice rack"?
He did not, but I wish he did.
Oh, yeah, well, he's not really the guy for us, then, is he? Is that the first, is that the, that's not
You,
the first
you
thing
didn't
that
lose
came to
out on
mind?
anything.
Except for money. But I've still got the tanks. You know.
Okay, cool. Now, my next question for you was, I think we've already covered it at a previous thing, but it'll be interesting. Like one fish or thing that we can't get in New Zealand that you'd love to have.
Me or Matt?
I say can't get in New Zealand legally. Okay,
Me or Matt?
both of you. You can go first, Cam, because I know you probably have it all right on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, I like snakeheads. I'd be keen for them, or yellow jacket jags. Be keen for them,
Really?
which both go kind of against my general.
I
general
thought you
thought.
would have gone for shrimp. I thought you would have gone
Yeah.
for like a little red shrimp or something cool like that. For granted
They
tag.
don't really interest. I mean, they're cool. They just don't really interest me that much. And they're not fish. And you asked for fish, so
I was going to say fish or inverts, but
yeah. Yeah. On the rarer side of things, I wouldn't mind. I think they have been here before. I'm not 100%. The scarlet plecos, very similar to the cactus plex. They'd be pretty cool. Checkerboard cichlids, I wish they'd come in more often. I've got a bit of a wiring
I
for them.
have kept them before, and they are cool.
Yeah, they came in about 18 months ago. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on them currently.
I actually tried 2 or 3 times to breed them and never had any luck.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a few, I guess. I tend to not really worry about stuff that we can't get because I know we can't get it. So what's the point of ruining my hopes and dreams and crushing my soul?
Yep. Cool. What about you, Matthew?
My current thing, and I'm actually trying to see if there's a way around this, but Mandarin comps,
Oh, well, they could come in.
they could.
If they're an Autoleprolagus compressiceps, then they could come in.
Yeah, it's just trying to get that to happen. So
It's interesting because they were never really a thing, and then they are a thing. They seem to have emerged recently. I haven't done much research into them. I'm wondering I don't know if they actually are a thing. Are they a specific collection location that just gets bigger, or are they just a bigger gold comp? I'm not sure. I need to do some research.
I'd need to have a look through
The book.
the book.
Yeah,
Book
interesting
of
to
Mormon?
find the answer to that. No, the book that I stole, that I've had for the last 6 months, the fizz that I gave back finally.
And it wasn't wrapped in a million different layers of wrapping.
And it
Just
wasn't damaged.
on the record, your sister was telling me about the electric scooter or electric bike that you sent her son with all the stuff in it on the way back to the airport. I thought it was hilarious.
He said you guys had some good chats on the way back. You told them all about how to smoke meat and stuff, and yeah. My neighbour's mind is blowing with all the meat stuff. So
It's good
yeah, it
times.
was cool. It was cool. You know your shit.
Apparently, some might believe it, some might not too.
Well, the proof is, as they say, the proof is in the pudding or the meat.
Nelson knows you now knows that you know your shit about hot sauce.
I just messaged him the next day and I was like, I'm disappointed in you, Nelson. And he's like, sorry, Dad. And I said, not angry, just disappointed, Nelson. So yeah, that was interesting. For me, I would probably go with some decent Tanganyikan feather fins or something like that. I think they're pretty freaking cool. I think it would be cool if we could get some, they call them sardines, but something like that go with something that could go with Frontosa, you know?
Yeah, like the Tanganyikan rainbow sort of thing.
Yeah, well, they call them feather fins, but they're flat. Feather fins, the flashes, the sardines, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the colours on them are phenomenal. they get quite large in schooling, and they're really good with Frontosa and things like that. It would be cool to get something else in New Zealand that can actually go with Frontosa that would bring them out a little bit and look cool. I'd probably do a Frontosa tank if I could get flashes to go with them, or your feather to go with them. Again, I have seen them here. They have been here. And the ones I actually saw were here legally. They were here before the import thing changed. And he had one pair and then one jumped out. And that was the end of them. So,
Yeah, Deaf Badolo will be another one for me.
oh, yeah. Yeah, they've been here. They will come again, I reckon, those, because actually I've seen a lot of literature that suggests they actually are a sister subspecies of Picardi, not a separate species now. So, but we'll just have to keep our eye out because they'll come in as Picardi and we'll be like, that's a daffodil.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's filled in some good chat. There's something in the private chat here. Matt says he can't stay much longer. Have a new staff member. Okay.
What's the point in a private chat?
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. Well, Matt has a new staff member that he needs to go and whip into shape and pretend like he's the boss man and tell him to listen to his authority and all that sort of crap. So we better go, and it's good to be back. And we haven't actually decided if we're recording next week, but we're going to have to record something before then if we can't, and release something at 7:00 New Zealand time, Wednesday, approximately an hour before this, right?
Cool. Make it work.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks. Good to see everyone
All right.
again. Some friendly faces. Good to get some duckweed in my aquarium. So I really enjoyed that. It's good and hearty thing that is really easy to get rid of. So awesome. And
The
yeah,
video is now live on both the Three Idiots Talk Aquariums YouTube channel and the Fish Room one if you want to check it out.
good times. And yeah, sorry, ladies, married man now. Also,
No, they're all breathing a sigh of relief.
also,
Just
also,
before we go, can you tell
$12
a story?
from Temu. $12
Yeah.
from Temu. Love it. Don't care. Hasn't turned my finger blue yet. We'll see what happens.
Love it.
The jury is still out, and Kim is horrified, but doesn't matter. I don't care.
Yeah.
Cool. All right,
Okay.
guys. Talk to you later.
Cheers.
See you, bye.
Bye.